12 months after the USSR had signified the start of the space age with the successful launch of the satellite Sputnik 1, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, had their first human spaceflight program, Project Mercury, taking shape. In 1961, Commander Al B. Shepard of the US Navy became the first American in space. Just a few weeks after Shepard's flight, President John F. Kennedy announced his intent to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. The challenge signaled the birth of NASA's Gemini and Apollo missions. Space exploration emerged as a major area of contest between the USSR and the United States and became known as the space race. President Kennedy instituted the Apollo program, designed to land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the decade is out. This national commitment resulted in an intensive, large-scale piloted flight program. In 1968, the first manned Apollo flight was launched by a Saturn 1B booster, circling the Earth for 163 orbits, checking spacecraft performance, photographing the Earth, and transmitting television pictures. The Apollo missions achieved tremendous success, but they came with a terrible cost. 3 astronauts were killed in a launch pad fire during training before the first Apollo flight. The flight of the Apollo 11 mission was the culmination of many years of planning, working, building, and testing. Crewed by Commander Neil Armstrong, Command Module Pilot Michael Collins, and Lunar Module Pilot Edwin Buzz Aldrin. The launch of the Apollo missions precipitated an American triumph in the space race and was a major first in space exploration. Armstrong and Aldrin became the first humans to land on the moon, while Collins orbited in the command module. The 3 astronauts chosen for the Apollo 11 crew had flown it many times in ground-based simulators. They had all been in space before, and now, after careful training, they were ready. Throngs of people crowded the highways and beaches near the launch site at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and millions watched the event on television, with NASA Chief of Public Information Jack King providing commentary. President Richard Nixon viewed the proceedings from the Oval Office of the White House as the astronauts touched their lunar lander down in the Sea of Tranquility. Before the Apollo project ended in 1972, 5 other missions visited the moon. The shuttle program was formally launched in 1972, and NASA returned to human spaceflight in 1981 with the advent of the Space Shuttle. The STS-116 was launched in December 2006 and was the final Space Shuttle mission of that year. Here, the crew prepare for the shuttle's 20th mission to the International Space Station. 2 shuttles have been destroyed in 114 missions, both with the loss of the entire crew. Challenger was lost 73 seconds after liftoff in 1986, and Columbia lost during re-entry in 2003. In 2009, Space Shuttle Discovery and its crew of 7 astronauts ended a 14-day journey of more than 5.7 million miles, landing at Edwards Air Force Base in California. Scientists believe the core mission of any future space exploration will be the departure from Earth orbit and journeying to the Moon or Mars, this time for extended and perhaps permanent stays. A dream for centuries, active efforts by NASA to develop both the technology and the scientific knowledge necessary to carry this off are now well underway.